Hey guys, welcome into our weekend news wrap-up. We're here at the lovely King's Cross train station, one of the biggest train stations in Europe. A few things we're going to get into today, the first of which is big news in the Trump administration. Michael Flynn, the National Security Advisor, has stepped down amidst concerns about his contact with the Russian ambassador to the United States leading up to the election. If you want an in-depth analysis about this, I did do a radio podcast. It's on my SoundCloud account. I'll put a link to that in the description box. Check that out if you're interested. The bigger news is the person that was tabbed to replace him, retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward, who was a previous Navy SEAL, declined the offer. Now this is a big deal because National Security Advisor is the pinnacle career move for anyone who works as a national security professional, whether in the government agencies, whether in a foreign policy establishment, or for the military. And for someone to decline this is a big deal. I mean, it's a very prestigious post. Why did Robert Harwood decline the position? Well, the real reason he did is because he wasn't allowed to bring in his own experts into the National Security Council, into the establishment, the bureaucracy. And because he couldn't do that, he couldn't trust that he would have the team in place around him to formulate and then implement security strategy. And security strategy, implementing that strategy, being able to make changes whilst the strategy is being implemented is really, really important. And so Harwood didn't think that he could actually do this, he couldn't implement this, he couldn't bring his team in, so he declined. He said, no, I'm not going to be a part of it. So that's something that's very interesting, and it adds credence to the idea that there's turmoil, that Donald Trump doesn't quite know what he's doing in creating an administration, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes moving forward. Moving on to Pakistan now. Pakistan was the victim of an Islamic State bomber in southern Pakistan. It killed 75 people. Since the attack, the Pakistani government has led a crackdown, killed over 100 militants. For those of you who don't know, I'll get into this in later video and radio episodes. Pakistan has a really, really deep-seated insurgency problem. A lot of Islamic militants in different parts of the country. It's something to look out for. It's basically a powder keg on Pakistani society. Moving even farther east now, we're talking about North Korea. Importantly, the North Korean regime sent an assassin to assassinate the half-brother of Kim Jong-un. Why did he do this? Why did he need to assassinate the estranged brother who was living abroad? He was assassinated in Malaysia. The regime did this because if there was any chance that the regime would collapse, or if there was any potential for someone to come in and usurp Kim Jong-un's power, it would be his half-brother, right? Because the half-brother has the Kim name, and he would be able to mobilize the elements to overtake or usurp the power of the Kim regime. So what do you do when you can't do that? You get rid of the man. You get him, you kill him, you assassinate him. Now he's not a problem. The last thing we'll say is this. Because of North Koreans' recent ballistic missile tests and their nuclear tests, China has decided to suspend coal imports from North Korea, which is good news for the international community, particularly the United States. Always is putting pressure on the Chinese regime to put more pressure on the North Korean regime through things like sanctions and suspension of aid. So the fact that China suspended coal imports from North Korea is really important. The Kim regime will feel the pain, will feel the hurt, but not really. It's ultimately not going to make much of a difference because, for reasons I'll get into in future episodes, China does not want the Kim regime to fail, because if it fails, you have a united Korean peninsula and most likely an ally of the United States pushed right up on the border of China. Alright guys, well that's it for today. Subscribe to the channel, share the video guys, and remember, even in a busy train station, reality always trumps ideology.